I spent the day at the Sydney Craft Quilt Fair, so you don't have to. Well, unless I convince you otherwise. Today, I'm taking you around the event, showing you the shopping, the exhibits, what I bought, and if I'd recommend going next year. And if you're new here, hey, I'm Emma, your crochet bestie, and I do lots of these event type reviews and also talk about my crochet projects. All right, let's get into it. This year, the Craft and Quilt Fair was held at the ICC in Darling Harbour. It ran from Wednesday the 15th to Saturday the 18th of July. Now this does mark a little bit of a difference because last year the event ran from Thursday to Sunday. Sunday did have very quiet vibes though, as you can see in my previous video linked here, and I do wonder if that's why they had shifted the dates. Ticket prices are $28 for one day or $50 for the entire event. Concession is $24 for one day, and there is also a VIP ticket for $113. This was also on during the school holidays here in New South Wales, so I was very pleased to see that children under 12 were free. There was also pass out, so you could come and go as you pleased and find lunch elsewhere if that's what you wanted to do. My favorite exhibit at this event every single year is the Cavalcade of History and Fashion. This year the theme was beads, buttons, and bows, and it did not disappoint. There was a real wedding party vibe to this year's display. I really enjoy getting to see how fashion has evolved over the different eras, and I found it really interesting how buttons went from being handmade to plastic later on. And also I really liked seeing how bows were introduced into fashion, and it's definitely been another big theme in the 2020s to have lots of bows, so I thought that was quite interesting. Although, do bows ever really go out of style? I don't think they do. There was some absolutely stunning beadwork happening on these items. I really loved the wedding dresses. I thought they were beautiful, and really just all of the displayed clothing was very nice. They also do two talks usually, one at 11 p.m. and one at 2. It's definitely worth having a seat and listening. There was plenty of new things added to this year's show, one of them being the cake decorating and sugar pavilion. I thought that this was a really good step at bringing in some new crafts to the show. Last year, one of my criticisms was that it seemed to be shrinking a fair amount and there wasn't really anything new and some of the crafts were sort of disappearing. So I was so pleased to see the cake decorating. They had their own area marked with a banner, and they were doing live demos on stage, which was amazing. I caught the end of one and it seemed like it was having lots of fun vibes. They also had all of their cake decorating stalls in one space, so it was very easy to shop and browse. Something else that was new was the craft bar. Now this seemed like a very funky space. The best part about the craft bar was you didn't have to book anything, you could just show up and start crafting. And they had two different crafts on per day. One of them was wool felting and the other one was quilling. And I thought this was really good because if you hadn't actually pre-booked a workshop or anything else, this would be a good introduction into what the show kind of does. They also had the skill studio. These were workshops aimed at beginner sewists, and it looks like you had to pre-book before you got to the show just to make sure that you had a seat. It looked very popular when I walked past. The thing that I was the most excited for was the yarn and thread market, but I was sort of surprised that it was only sort of a pod of 4 shops. Because this event was on at the same time as Bendigo Sheep and Wool Festival, I was wondering if maybe they wanted to make this section a bit larger, but because that other event was on, they didn't quite get as many yarn stall holders to show up, but I would love to see it grow for next year. Now, being a crocheter myself, I couldn't go past the yarn, of course. I didn't end up buying anything myself, but there was plenty of choices and honestly a wonderful range. I do hope that the yarn and thread market proved to be popular though, because I would love to see it expand. As usual, all of the guilds showed up, as well as some charities. So it was a good space to also say hi, check out different guilds, and see if you want to join. Running through the list, there was the Textile Arts Association, Aussie Hero Quilts, which is a charity, the Country Women's Association for Handicrafts, the Embroiderers Guild, the Handweavers and Spinners, the Tatters Guild, and last but not least, the Knitting Guild. The Knitters Guild also ran a separate space, which was the Knitting Lounge, where throughout the day you could go and learn how to make a granny square or learn how to knit something. If you were at the show this weekend, you might have seen me sitting behind the desk at the Knitters Guild because I was helping someone learn how to crochet. And to be honest, that was my most favorite part of the entire show. It was definitely the community aspect and getting to meet other people, and crocheting. And after years of resisting, I have finally joined the Knitters Guild, which if you know me in real life, that is a big deal. A big part of this show is the quilt showcase. If you love quilts, you will absolutely love this part of the show. And I think it is worth the money just to see some of this amazing work. The SAQA's theme this year was Opposites, which was exploring tension between opposite ideas. And here were some of my favorite quilts. Some of these were absolutely massive. I could not believe it. Like, the sense of scale really doesn't show through on camera. When you're standing there looking up, and just the amount of work that people have put into these quilts, oh my gosh, they are amazing. You also get to vote for your favorite quilt in the entire show. It's very fun. Some of these quilts are so detailed, and you can tell a lot of creativity have gone into them. I find them all extremely inspiring. And look at this one. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. This year, I wasn't too inspired by the shopping. And I think a part of that might be because I've been to so many events in the last couple of months that I'm spent out. But I have to say, I do like how they layer out all the shops. None of it really felt too squished. And there was plenty of room to circulate and come back. But I have to say, I couldn't leave this show empty-handed. So one thing that I did pick up was an embroidery kit from the sewing basket. And this is how it looks. It's pretty much done. I have to admit, I am not much of an embroiderer, but this kit didn't seem that intimidating, and I really liked the floral pattern. It was also pre-printed onto the fabric, so it was very easy to follow. It's meant to be a bookmark, kind of like this sort of vibe, but instead of making this into a bookmark, I'm going to make it into a little placemat for my trinkets. And I'm going to back it with this fabric. If I hold it up, you can kind of see the vibe that I'm going for here. It should be cute. I've also thought about doing a crochet border on it. But anyway, this show has a lot going for it and also not a lot at the same time. If you're super organized, there are plenty of activities to do. So I would say maybe a month or two before the show is on, check their website and see what's going on, because you can pre-book a workshop and like that's most of your day covered. And sometimes they have a really fun guest artist show up and you can do little workshops with them, and I think that's awesome. So would I recommend this event? I would recommend it. They are definitely trying, it seems, to find new things to bring to this show. My biggest tip though is to look at the website before you go and see what else is on, because there is also make and takes and other bits and pieces that you can do at the show. But unless you've pre-looked at the website, it's a little bit hard to understand what's going on, especially on your first visit. So tell me what you think. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you go this year? Did you not go? Have you been in previous years where you thought it was better? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!